intelligent people do not assume to know what will make them truly happy. We can't just assume that we know what is going to make us happy. We can't just assume that getting that job or signing that client or dating that person or getting married or moving to that place or looking that way is going to be it. At one point, Christmas made a lot of us more happy than it does now. At one point, a birthday party made us feel a lot more happy than it does now. If money made you happy when you were broke, the same amount of money is not going to make you happy when you're rich. Emotionally intelligent people do not assume being fearful is a sign that they are on the wrong path. A sign that you're on the wrong path is indifference. If you are fearful about something, that is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. You're being pushed towards something. That's intention. Who knows if it always will be the right thing? What we do know is that you're on the right path. It might not lead to exactly where you want, but you're going into a direction you know you need to go into. They know that happiness is a choice, but do not feel they need to make that choice all the time. Happiness is not a sustained state of joy. Being happy is moment by moment. If you were only experiencing one emotion all the time, then that's not living. You're not living. You're just in existence. Living the human experience means that you experience all the emotions. And you should allow yourself to say, I'm not in a happy state right now. Emotionally intelligent people know that a feeling will not kill them. You're not going to die because you're angry. You're only going to die if you start doing stupid things because you're angry. Emotionally intelligent people do not confuse a bad feeling for a bad life. When you fight the bad feeling, when you fight the bad day, that is anything but peaceful. If you just come to grips with this is just not a good day for me. It's not my day. I got bad news. I lost a client. Somebody hit the back of my car on the way to the gym, and I just want to go home, go to sleep, and start this one over tomorrow. That's part of life. If I'm fighting against that bad day, if I'm fighting against that bad feeling, I'm causing war within myself. You're able to have peace when you just accept it. This is a bad stretch of life, or this is a bad day, or this is a bad week. These are bad feelings. But this doesn't make it a bad life.
Good morning.
Yo, what's up?
A lot of
Live?
background. Yeah,
We
we're
live?
live.
Live and alive. Live and alive. Olha, come in. What were you asking me just now?
I was saying I was hearing a lot of background noise, like the chair and stuff.
Oh, let's get my coffee.
You look a little pale too.
Thanks. Appreciate
it. How are you in this morning?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. What's going on?
I'm just here. I was thinking how I always say how I'm not a morning person, and
Shout out Codex. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Aretha, good morning. Sorry, continue.
Are we done now?
Yeah.
I was saying
Thank
how
you. Wayne Column moderators. Shout out to y'all.
I was thinking how we're not how I always say I'm not a morning person, and I know a lot of other people like myself have said that before, and I was wondering, like, what would you say, or what advice you would give for somebody who would want to become a morning person, or to like want to wake up early? Like, what are some of the best practices to waking up early?
Well, what do you when you say I'm not a morning person, what do you mean by that?
People just feel like they have to scrape themselves out of bed if they try to wake up early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I said it the other day on the live. I think it was earlier this week. The morning belongs to the night before, to the evening before, right? So if you say you're not a morning person because you have a difficult time waking up in the morning, it's probably because you weren't disciplined the night before in either going to bed on time, preparing to go to bed on time, stuff like that, doing the things that you know you need to do in order to wake up with purpose the next day, wake up with intention the next day, wake up with excitement the next day. You know, a lot of people are depending on you to wake up tomorrow, including you. So I think that if you have a difficult time in the morning, it's probably because you're not disciplined enough in the night before, and also because you're waking up with a lack of purpose.
I see. Well, yeah, maybe I need to remind myself about the purpose, or like, people who don't wake up early need to remind themselves about the purpose, because I feel like I've gone to bed early, and like the earlier I go to bed, the more like tired I feel. Like, do you know some people, they feel whenever they'd say the longer I sleep, the more I feel, the more tired I feel.
Well, yeah, there's such thing as oversleeping. But what's your point?
Yeah, so because you said that the morning belongs to the night before and being disciplined, so I'm assuming that you're suggesting that, oh, you have to go to bed on time and stuff, or go to bed
Well,
earlier so you can wake up
yeah,
earlier.
you gotta be wind down and in your bed at the time that you need so that you can get enough sleep. So if you're peeling yourself off the mattress, it means that you didn't get enough sleep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This morning I was reading an interesting book. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I really like this book. Another book that I usually read once a year at least. Um, it's by Robert Kiyosaki. Good morning, Maria. Um, he has a lot of he makes a lot of great points. Like I want to just go through I'm going to give you just a few things that I wrote down from what he was saying this morning. Um, but I really actually want to focus on there's five main things. There's five main things that I really would love to focus on. That kind of hold us back, not only from getting to where we want to get financially, but just altogether. Just altogether. So some of the things I wrote down this morning, uh, he was meeting with a writer, and he was also at a time he was a best-selling author by now, and she was pointing at the table of his book on the table. So he goes, um, she looked down at her notes, and then he goes, "What?" And then I wrote, she pointed deliberately to her notes and the pad, and it said Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author. And he said, it says best-selling author, not best-selling not best writing author. You guys got that? He was talking about his own book, and he said, it says best-selling author, not best writing author. Just because you're a best-selling author doesn't mean that you're the best at writing. You could have a number one album, doesn't mean you're the best at making music. You could be the highest paid actor, doesn't mean you're the best actor. See, he said it says best selling author, not best writing author. Later on in this book, he says, I know no two skills to be more valuable than sales and marketing. He says, I know no two skills to be more valuable than sales and marketing. So essentially, what he's saying is, I'm not a good author. Actually, he says it in the book. I wrote it down. He goes, I am a terrible writer. You are a great writer. So he goes, I went to sales school. You have a master's degree. So he was saying to the lady, like, you're great at what you do. I'm horrible, but I'm a best-selling author and you're not. You have a master's degree and you trained to do writing, and I'm selling more books than you because I know how to sell and I know how to market. And I'm not trying to tell you guys that you guys got to go out there and sell and market. I'm just explaining the fact that a lot of us confuse the two. You know, just because a song plays a lot on the radio or it sells a lot of music doesn't mean anything. Let me give you a perfect example. Shout out to Taylor Swift. I don't really know her music, but I do know that she's huge, right? She's huge. And I have liked a song or two. I just don't remember what the names of the songs are. And I heard on the internet on a YouTube channel that she has this collection for her album. So if you buy 4 of the vinyl, the records that you put in the record player, 4 vinyls, and you put them on the wall, all 4 of them, it makes a clock. I think it's a clock. So it gives a photo. It makes a photo of a clock. So it's like you collect all 4 of the albums. Okay. Then you put them on the wall, and that's a clock. The thing is, all 4 of them are the same album. So you would buy the same album 4 times just so you can make this clock on the wall. Right? You want to make sure that you have the collection. Although it's not a collection of new songs, it's the same songs. But you want to be able to put it on your wall. Now, Taylor Swift has a lot of super fans. That's how she sells so much albums. I mean, I'm sure her music is great, but these are sales tactics, right? You see Travis Scott, he's always #1 on the charts when he releases an album. Yeah, because you buy a t-shirt, you get an album. So it counts as a sale. And his merch, his fans, they love merch. They love his merch. So they'll go and buy a t-shirt. It comes with an album. The t-shirt's $55 and it comes with an $8 album. Right? Now, were they buying the t-shirt or were they buying the album? And they're going to try to support the artist because they're fans. So that doesn't mean that his music is the greatest. It means that these are sales and marketing tactics that work. So I just really want you guys to remember that as you just kind of go throughout your day to day. Not just because somebody sells more than you doesn't mean that they're better than you. Just because somebody does more numbers than you or gets more money than you doesn't mean that they're better than you. And we're going to get into this in a second because the world is filled with smart, broke people. Right? He says it in the book. This is another thing I wrote down. It says right here. The world is filled with smart, talented, educated, and gifted people that we meet every day all around us that make no money. Right? The world's filled with them. Right? So we gotta really understand what our goal is. Is our goal to know a lot about everything? Is it to be well-rounded? Is it linear directly to the one thing that we need to do? Is like, what is our ultimate goal? Because you have to keep focused on it. If you're Kobe Bryant, you didn't care about being good at anything except for basketball. If you're Robert Kiyosaki, he wanted to know a little bit about a lot. That's exactly what he said. I want to know a little bit about a lot. Kobe Bryant had no goal like that, but both of them became successful because they understood what it meant for them in their lane. Excuse me. Another thing I wrote down from this morning: if you're not a leader, you'll get shot in the back, just like they do in business. And this was his rich dad talking to him about being in the army, and said he always wanted to be a leader. Said, if you're not a leader, you'll get shot in the back, just like they do in business. Another thing that he wrote in this book that I wrote down: the more specialized you become, the more you are trapped and dependent on that specialty. Again, I just talked about Kobe Bryant. So he was talking about here how the reason why he wants to know a little about a lot is because he didn't want to get trapped in one specialty. If you're Kobe Bryant, your specialty was basketball. He wanted to get trapped. He wanted to be the best ever. Right? He says it again here. Again, the world is filled with talented poor people. All too often, they're poor or struggle financially or earn less than they are capable of, not because of what they know, but because of what they do not know. He says that a few times in this book. He says, what I do not know is what makes me lose the most. A lot of great points in this book that he makes. However, I do want to get into 5 specific things in the book that I believe don't just go well with making sure you're financially set, but also go well with making sure that you crush anything that you do. All right. So these are the 5 that I wrote down. This is in chapter 7 of this book. And the chapter is entitled Overcoming Obstacles. Okay. He says the primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Fear is the number one thing out of his 5 reasons, or I should say out of his 5 obstacles. Out of the 5 things that stand between you and, in his case, getting rich. Now, I want to be clear. These 5 obstacles are just generic, universal obstacles. It's not specific to getting rich or getting richer or anything like that. They are not specific to this. So you can actually apply these 5 obstacles to anywhere in life. The first one is fear. What he writes about fear is very interesting. He says, I've never met anyone who really likes losing money, and in all my years, I've never met a rich person who has never lost money. What is he saying? What is there to be scared of? Everybody's the same. Nobody likes losing money, and everybody's lost it. Right? If, let's say it's YouTube. I know some people have come up to me and said, good morning, Christina. I know some people have come up to me and said, Jay, you know, you really encouraged me to do the YouTube thing. Like, you just jumped in and just started doing. This is my 3rd YouTube channel, y'all. If you're watching on Conversations with Jay, it's my 3rd channel. If you're watching it on the Win Column, that's my 2nd channel. If you're watching it, it's not on the other channel. This is my 3rd YouTube channel. I started doing YouTube in 2011. 2011, when I owned a basketball league. That's when I first started doing YouTube. Then I started doing YouTube for coaching. And then that's the Win Column channel. And then I started doing YouTube for leadership, which is Conversations with Jay. This is my 3rd YouTube channel. You don't think that I've had fear, and I've had laziness, and I've had bad habits, and I've had cynicism to keep, okay, I did it. Okay, I'll restart it. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'll restart it. Of course. So I appreciate that I'm inspiring other people to do YouTube and just have no fear, but I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't have fear. Of course I did, just like everybody else. Right? The thing I always try to remind myself about fear is fear doesn't come from us. It doesn't come from inside of us. We were not made with fear. You know, God didn't make us and instill a spirit of fear in us. Fear is actually, it's not from us. It's not native to our spirit. You don't believe me? Just look at any newborn baby. They don't even have a concept of fear. Fear came from the world. Fear comes from the world. It doesn't come from inside of us. It resides inside of us because we allow it to, but it comes from the world. If I'm blessed enough to have 2 sons, after the first son, my 2nd son, his name will be Geronimo. And everybody laughs, Jay, what kind of foolish name is that? But the name means no fear. It means no fear. That's why you see people jump off a rock into the ocean. Geronimo. It means no fear. Fear is something that ruins us, it decays us, but it comes from the outside. It's like rust that comes from salt. You feel me? So the next time you are fearful of something, just remember, this is not you. That's not your spirit. It's not coming from you. It's the world that's trying to hold you back. We do not have a spirit of fear. It's not native to the human. Right? Next is cynicism. What he says about cynicism, he says 2 things that I wrote down. One, he goes, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Most of us know the story of the Chicken Little who ran around warning the barnyard of impending doom. The second thing I wrote about cynicism is they've never done it, and they're telling someone who's doing it why they shouldn't do it. They've never done it, and they're telling somebody who's doing it why they shouldn't do it. You know what they did? What they did that with? Everything. Everything that's working now, somebody said it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to sell books online. People will need to have them in their hand. People need to have them in their hand. People want to turn the pages. That's not going to work. People want to go and hold the product. They want to try on the clothes. They're not going to buy clothes online. They want to hold the product. They want to test it first. People aren't going to put their credit card on the internet. They don't even want to put it over the phone to a trusted advisor, to a trusted travel advisor. Why would they put it on the internet? Right? All of this is a bunch of people telling us that it's not going to work, and they never did it. And you're doing it. They never did it. You know, if it was up to my mother, God bless her, got to text her back, actually, text me yesterday. If it was up to my mother, I'd be a teacher. And in a sense, I kind of am. In a sense, I kind of am. So yeah, but I'd be a school teacher. I don't even like kids. But that's what I've been, because my mom was a school teacher. That was a safe thing. Well, not a school teacher, daycare teacher. That was a safe thing. And then she was like, hey, you should be a teacher. You know, you get your summers off, and like you could work with kids. You're a good role model for young kids, and so on. So this is how she thought. When I told her that I'm going to just venture off, I'm just going to stop playing basketball, and I'm going to venture off and just start a business, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it better work. Right? When I worked with my first coaching company, this is in 2017, I had dreams of starting my own coaching company. Obviously, you guys know I did in 2020, but I was told by people older than me, around me, I was told, well, what are you doing? You have a good thing going on here. You're getting paid well. Why would you throw that away and then start your own business? Everything's kind of done for you. You don't even have to work to get clients. They give you clients. You're taught everything. You don't have to teach yourself. And, you know, the marketing's done. You don't have to put up your own money. What are you doing? You have a good thing going on here. Right? But everybody who told me that, none of them ever ran their own business, ever. Right? They've never done it, and they're telling someone who's doing it why they shouldn't do it. Right? Cynics criticize and winners analyze. It's another thing I wrote down. Cynics criticize and winners analyze. So just to recap real quick, the first two we have for overcoming obstacles, the first two obstacles we have to overcome is fear. Again, does not come from within us. It comes from outside of us. And cynicism, which also comes from outside of us. Okay? People telling us and discouraging us from really doing what we know we can do. You can do it. If you feel so passionately about something that it keeps repeating over and over and over again in your head, and you keep saying, I really should try this. I really should do this. You know, I'd really be good at this. You know, I really think I'd enjoy this. Then do it. It's clear that you want to do it. It's clear that it's something that's burning, a desire that's burning within you. So go and do it. Don't keep questioning and allow fear and the cynics around you to hold you back from even starting. If it continues to keep banging on your heart, you should go ahead and try it and start, because it's never going to go away. If it hasn't by now, it's never going to go away. And you always know those people on their deathbeds and their regret and this and that. Like, why would you want to? At least say, I tried it, it didn't work out, but I'm glad I tried it. Now I don't have to worry about it. Number 3, this one does come from within us. Number 3 obstacle out of 5 is laziness. It's laziness. I got news for you. All of us experience laziness. We're wired to be lazy. That's just how we are. We call it lazy, our body calls it efficient. We call it lazy, our body calls it efficient. I think it was Steve Jobs that said, I love hiring, or maybe the other guy, the Microsoft guy. I forgot his name. Not Ballmer, the one that Steve, help me out. Bill Gates, that's it. Bill Gates. One of the two of them, I think, said it. They said, I love hiring lazy people because they always find a way to do it faster or easier or more efficiently. The laziest people, they're the smartest ones. But here's the thing about lazy, okay? Busy people, this is what he wrote in the book, busy people are often the most lazy. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Busy people are often the most lazy, he says. We have all heard stories of a businessman who works hard to earn money. He works hard to be a good provider for his wife and his family. He spends long hours at the office and brings work home on weekends. And one day he comes home to an empty house. His wife has left with the children. He knew he and his wife had problems, but rather than work to make the relationship stronger, he stayed busy at work. Hear that? Rather than work to make the relationship stronger, he stayed busy at work. That is very important to digest. Avoidance is a form of laziness. Procrastination is a form of laziness. And just because you can find something else to do instead of doing what you know you're supposed to do doesn't make you any less lazy. It doesn't make you any less lazy. Right? Oftentimes I say to some of my clients, busy is good as long as it's the right kind of busy. Like a client would say to me, I'm really busy. I say, oh, that's great. Busy is good. But is it the right kind of busy? Because I busy doing a bunch of stuff that doesn't move the needle in your business, what's the point? Right? You can stay all busy all you want, but are you busy with the things that actually matter? Are you busy with the things that actually matter? If I call you and you say, I'm busy hanging out with the family, that's something that actually matters. If I call you and you say, I'm busy crunching my numbers for my accountant, it might matter. It might not. So don't hide behind busy and feel like you're less lazy. Because like he says, busy people are often the most lazy because they're avoiding what they're supposed to be busy doing by being busy. He says, so what is the cure for laziness? This is another part that I wrote down. The answer is a little greed. A little greed. Greedy people, he says, for many of us, we think greedy people are bad people. He says, for many of us, greedy people are bad people. But he says here, I don't want them to know the feeling of want. So if you are feeling greedy, right? If you are feeling greedy, it's not really usually greed for, I just want everything for myself. It's usually, I want everything for us. Whoever you and your team and the people around you are. Because naturally, unless you're an evil person, naturally, humans default to caring about other people and other things around them. Naturally. It might not be strangers. It might only be the people you like. It might only be your family. It might only be your friends. It might only be your kids or your spouse, but naturally, you're not in the world walking around saying, I want every single thing from me and me alone. So the if you are a little greedy, you're actually also a little caring, because when you want more money, you're not spending every penny on yourself. When you want more time, you're not spending every minute of the time on yourself. And those are some of the two most important resources we have. And when you want to rest and you need more, you're trying to conserve energy, it's so you can spend energy usually with yourself and the other people around you so they can benefit as well. And when you are greedy, in terms of money, as he says here, when you are greedy, you stop saying, I can't afford it. You say, how can I afford it? How can I make this happen? I want more. But if you're not greedy and you're like, yeah, I'm good, I'm full, you don't actually get that creative push in your mind to have ambitions for more. You don't have that creativity because you don't need to. You're like, I'm full, I'm good, I'm content. So there's no way, there's no reason. You're like, I'm content. I don't need that. Can't afford it. I don't need it. But again, it's a form of laziness. It's a form of laziness. Why not go and get more? Because who's going to benefit when you do? Not just you, the people around you. So when you're a little extra greedy, according to what he's saying, and I'm going to read this exact thing right here. I can't afford it. In my real home, that's all I heard. Instead, Rich Dad required his children to say, how can I afford it? He believed that the words, I can't afford it, shut down your brain. Again, laziness, shut down your brain. Lack of a little greed, shut down your brain. And greed is obviously not the word not the right word. He's just using that word for shock value. Shut down your brain. It didn't have to think anymore because you can't. How can I afford it? Opens up the brain and forces you to think and search for answers. So that's overcoming laziness. Okay, that was number 3 of 5. Number 4 of 5 is overcoming bad habits. Another obstacle to overcoming bad habits. We all know our life, as he says, our life is a reflection of our habits. He says it's a reflection of our habits even more than it's a reflection of our education. That's huge. In other words, your habits have more of an impact on your results than your knowledge and your skills. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Your habits have more of an impact on your results than your knowledge and your skills do. So overcoming bad habits is huge. It's more important than learning a new skill or gaining more knowledge. And we did go through habits earlier this week, so I'm not going to really dive too much into it. But the fact is, the more we spend time on fixing our bad habits and building new good habits, the more we're probably going to gain more knowledge and skill anyway. If you have a habit of practicing another language twice a week, you're going to gain more knowledge and skill. If you have a habit of eating more healthy, you're going to gain more knowledge and skill. If you have a habit of going to the gym, you're going to gain more knowledge and skill. So how many of us know the person that's so skilled They know how to do everything. They have a master's degree, and they sit at home and do nothing. I know one. I know a guy who has a master's degree, and I'm telling you, this guy is very skilled, very valuable, very useful, and he's worked minimum wage jobs for the most part in his entire 30s. Like, for the most part, he's worked minimum wage jobs or just been unemployed and just chilling at home. I swear to you. Because of his habits. Yes, Christina says overcoming bad habits is tough as hell. It absolutely is. We said that it could take 30, it could take 60. Yo, see, make sure we put that live up on the Win Column channel. Guys, I think it's already there. If it's not there, just put up that live on the Win Column channel, because we did talk about building habits. We did talk about, I don't remember if it was last week Thursday or if it was on Monday, but let's just make sure that live is up there on the Win Column channel. Yeah. The last one, guys, the last thing to overcome is overcoming arrogance. What he writes about that is, what I wrote down: what I know makes me money. What I don't know loses me money. Every time I have been arrogant, I have lost money, because when I'm arrogant, I truly believe that what I don't know is not important. That's how he defines arrogance. Thinking that what you don't know is not important. Thinking something so crazy that I know everything I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I know everything I need to know to get this done. Well, that's quite arrogant, and that will get you out real fast. Struck out real fast. Because what kills you is what you don't know. And you need to be smart enough to say, I know literally this much. There is so much that I don't know. There is so much that I don't know. And then there is so much that I know that I should know that I don't know. And then there's so much that I don't know even exists to know that I don't know. There's what you know. There's what you know you don't know. I know, right? There's what you know. There's what you know you don't know. And there's what you don't know that you don't know. Sleepers in Jersey, good morning. Right? There is so much we don't know. Arrogance will crush our dreams very quickly. Now, are we going to know everything? No. We have to be smart enough to know that we don't know everything. That's the thing. The smarter we are, the more humble we come to the table, the more life will be easier for us and forge a path so we can get to where we need to get. It's like what I told you guys 3 weeks ago about my story, about my philosophy teacher in high school that used to say, he had this big sign on his door when you walk into the classroom and said, empty your cup. And our first day of his class, he said, if you come into this room and you want to learn, you need to empty your cup, because I can't put any more water in the cup if it's full. And basically what he's saying is exactly what Robert Kiyosaki is saying here. Don't be arrogant. So just to recap, y'all, here are the five. We've got fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. These are the obstacles that we need to overcome to get to where we want to go. They might not all be there one after the next or all at the same time, but on your journey, you will have these obstacles. On your journey, you will have these roadblocks. So be aware of them and jump over them, break through them, move past them. I don't care what you do, but don't let them stop you. Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, arrogance. They're out to get you. Don't let them stop you on your journey to be great. All right, y'all. This evening, we will be on live on a regular Thursday evening live this evening. And then we will also be on, we're going to be a little bit early this evening, by the way. I think we're going to be on by like 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So a little bit early for us because usually I know we're on around 7. But Eastern Standard Time will be on around 6. I think my last appointment ends at 6. I'm just going to jump on right after that. All right. And then next week, we will be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for our morning lives. All right. So I hope to see all you guys this evening, 6 o'clock. That's only on the Conversations with Jay page. That's not on the other page. Okay. That's not on the Win Column page, only on the Conversations with Jay page. All right. Appreciate everybody being here. Go and be great. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. All right.
Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Like a helicopter, spin out your rods in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Oh, when me choppers them. 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 Rods me flash me, rods me flash me, rods me flash me. Yo, spin your rods in the air like a chopper. Wave your rods like a helicopter. Spin out your rods in the air like a chopper. Round and round like a helicopter. Spin your rods in the air like a chopper. Wave your rods like a helicopter. Spin your rods in the air like a chopper. Hi, choppers fly, helicopters. We drunk cause we drink like a fish in the water. So high is like the world spinning faster. Dripping with sweat but it don't really matter. The music making me ball out. We see ladies and we call out. Them girls and them whining all out. Look a fight in the back, them brawl out. What? Me no business about that. Girls on me mind, so me thinking about that. Woman in the place, so me hunting for that. Bumpers in me face, so me on the attack. Just give me Henny, yo, give me Stack. Racial thing, white oak, Johnny Black. Oh gosh, I got catch a jet lag. 1919 does have me feeling high. Like a helicopter, spin out your rods in the air like a chopper. Hennessy